This is Ethan Young, and this is the Ethan Young Podcast. It seems silly to tell you that. It seems absolutely crazy since it's my channel and it's my podcast and I'm the host to introduce the video and say anything like that. But I saw Mr. Beast on JRE, right? So I can hear my son in the background. That's nice. Well, yep, I'm a dad, and I have a kid, and it's late as shit on a Friday, and he's not far away, and I can hear him in the background. So if you hear my kid, he's there. That's him. Yep, because I can hear him. But God, who's he talking to? It sounds like he's talking to somebody on the fucking internet or something. God damn it. He's probably talking to somebody on Fortnite. Yep. So, I'm like, it's so loud, I'm almost concerned. Should I not be concerned? It happens. Yeah, the first response was the correct response. I'm a dad. It is what it is. You know, I actually will see parents, and for the longest time, forever, I'd always be like, God, why are you out? Why are you on a plane? Why are you in a restaurant? Why are you in public with your baby? Until about 7 years ago, when I had a child, and I would have to take my son everywhere, because I was the one that watched him for like the first 9 months of his life. So anywhere I went, even like, for instance, I started looking for a job soon thereafter. He would come to job interviews with me. He would come to places with me, and I was always so nervous. My fucking head would pour sweat. It would literally pour sweat. And you know, it's funny. I've heard people say they have compassion and empathy for the baby. They have compassion and empathy, like, oh, what's wrong with the poor baby? And I get that. I understand that. But I always have compassion for the parent. I'm sitting there thinking, like, now years later, like, oh, I bet they're so stressed out. Like, if they're anything like me, they're so stressed because, like, unfortunately, I think way too much about what other people think and way too much about how it affects people. And there's that one saying, right, where it's like, you know, when you're 20, you care about what everybody thinks. When you're 40, you stop caring about what everybody thinks. And when you're 60, you realize nobody was ever fucking thinking about you in the first place. And I think that's probably way more accurate as far as like what we're supposed to be, you know, thinking as far as it all goes. But I care way too much. And so, like, people, you know, I'd be like thinking they're pissed off at me, they're angry at me, and I remember I would just pack the baby bag full of so much stuff. I would just bring so many things to try to entertain him. You know what I mean? All of his toys, all of it, changes of clothes, like all of, just in case anything, all the diapers, all the everything. And I just remember it being so nervous, just so anxious, just so, just like fucking, you know, worried he was going to freak out or you know, cry basically. And he never did. He was always such a good baby. He was amazing. I remember, yeah, at that time, cause like I said, I watched him for the first 9 months. So I remember my mom works for the postal service, and I even like tried to get a postal job at the time. And I remember he came with me through all those like little tests and stuff. And like through that, I had to take a pee test for him and stuff. And like he hung out with the nurses while I did that. And like, yeah, I don't remember why it didn't work out. Probably because I brought him to the interview. That's okay. I think it's where I meant to be. One of those things. No disrespect. I know a lot of really cool people and even some, you know, great entrepreneurs that are USPS folks. But don't know how I got on that subject. What the fuck were we talking about? We weren't really talking about anything. We were talking about Mr. Beast. And so he was on JRE, right? So he's on Joe Rogan. So he's the most watched YouTuber. Yeah. And then I heard my kid. Yeah. He's like the most watched YouTuber last year, right? So he's the most you know, fucking fantastic creator basically, and he'll probably be again. And so it's like he says, you know, you're supposed to put an intro in your video, and my first thought is like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I'm talking about while I'm talking about it half of the time, so it just seems silly. But it, I think, is like why, for instance, you know, like Whitney will do hers after, Whitney Cummings will do hers after. I've heard like Joe Rogan recently mention like how people should say people's last names, and I guess it's like you almost feel like it seems silly, right? Like it's the largest fucking podcast in the world, and it almost seems silly to introduce him in the same way it seems silly to introduce myself on my podcast, where I'm the host on my channel. It just seems silly, but I get it. I get the whole idea. And that's where it's like, I guess I've never been a great employee. I've never been good at listening. I've never been good at like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Well, I should keep fucking doing that. Cause like, you think this is what I'm supposed to do? I think I should do something else, which is so dumb. Cause it's like, if he's the best and this is what he's doing, maybe there's something to it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's something that we should follow, but, I'm stubborn, man. I'm stubborn. I just want to, I want to do, I guess, what I want to do. But if it doesn't work, then what the hell's the point? But again, it just seems silly to like introduce myself. But I've said that and you get it. So I got it too. But I was like fucking grill lighter. My son called it a flamethrower. He's like, was that a flamethrower? It's like, it does throw a flame, so I can't deny that. I can't deny that it does in fact throw a flame. So you're pretty much right. I was like, I'm not gonna say no, because the answer is not no to that, right? I don't think it is. Man, I had some fucking there's probably other stuff I'm supposed to say about the intro. I lean on this table. It will forever sound like a floor in the 1800s, maybe even house. But I had these flowers in my car yesterday. I've never really realized how amazing that they smell. Like, really, I know that sounds stupid. I know it's like fucking that's how flowers are represented in most circles, that they smell good and that they're amazing. But I feel like maybe too many times it hasn't been maybe as potent as it was. But I was carrying these, I want to say they were like yellow roses. They look like roses. They're probably fucking tulips or something, because I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about flowers. And then also these like little tiny, they look like dime size blue petals. So like a bunch of blue little petals, a bunch of dime size little blue petals on this large thing of yellow roses. And then they have those little like, green things that they stick in there just for like decoration. It's supposed to make it look pretty. But I'm carrying this, right? And because I was dropping it off, and it made my car smell so good. It just smelled so amazing. Even my son got in later and he was like, it smells really good in your car. What is that? And I was like, I had flowers in here today. And it's crazy. They smell so good. It's amazing how good flowers smell. But it made me think of that saying, like, stop and smell the roses, right? It's like, I've heard it. I've heard it a million times. I've heard it, I thought, right? You've heard somebody say it. I've heard somebody say it. And so it's like, I wondered, like, what does that mean? And I looked it up, and I guess it's funny. It just means to be more present. It just means like to be more aware of this present moment and try to enjoy it more. And then they quoted somebody, but it fucking, well, and this is the first thing that came up on the first Google search that I did. So it doesn't mean that it's the most accurate thing of this information, but yeah, it just said it quoted somebody too, but I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. But anyway. Just interesting, fascinating. Doesn't it ever seem like if you turn something on, like, man, I'll turn on like a podcast from like 5 years ago, and then it'll literally seem like it's speaking to me. And I know that sounds fucking insane, but it's crazy sometimes. It's sometimes how you hear something or something happens, and it's just weird because, like, I mean, even here, and I think each podcast should stand alone. So idea being, I've talked about like trying to be more present before. I've talked about being daydreaming. I've talked about like being, fantasizing too much before. And it's like, I feel like I'm always trying to be more present. And it's just odd that saying in itself is literally meant to be just to be more aware and be more in this moment. And, I mean, certainly something I'm practicing, something I'm trying to get better at. I mean, I have got to say, and I know it just sounds so like, it's funny in Grand Theft Auto, they say like, it's up your ass. Like you sound like you're up your own ass is the idea. And it is true. And it sucks. It's like, it's tough to talk about like yoga and talk about meditation and talk about the benefits that you can get from these things when you do sound like you're up your own ass. And the reason why is I think because when you're not doing it, I guess it makes you feel like you're less than, or it just reminds you that you're doing less than, and so it makes you feel some way, maybe not less than, but in some ways probably the case. And so it's just like, I think that's why it's bothersome to people. So it's one of those tough things to talk about. But I just, if I had to say one thing that I feel like I've finally, like, I probably started I think it was October or something, like probably last October, meditating at least as often as I can. I bet it ends up, if I'm not being super consistent, being like 3 or 4 times a week, and otherwise maybe like close to 6 or 7 if I'm doing well and I'm on top of shit. And again, just, yeah, I mean, I think that's good advice. I think we should all try to stop and smell the roses more. It's funny when people will say, because my thought is, if you watch this on a later date, but even if I record and edit this today, which I won't, and get it out and publish it today, which I won't, it's going to be a later date. It's going to be a later time and date when you see this. So people will say, like, if it's going to be a later date, but it's pretty much always going to be a later date. So currently, the invasion in Ukraine from Russia is still occurring. Today in particular, Russia had some sort of anniversary celebration to, what was it, like, commemorate Crimea, or the anniversary at Crimea, or whatever it was. So it's been going on for a while. And I think, like always, like I said, things should stand for themselves. My stupid fucking camera is about to turn off, and I can tell. So I'm going to grab it real quick, and I'll be right back. Yo, I'm back. It's all good, dude. Someday we're going to have a nice camera. Someday I'll get to zoom out and you won't have to be so close on my face, because, like, I don't know. I like the crop. I like the crop closer. I don't think it matters. It's not really that big of a deal. I like the crop a little bit closer like this, but I think if I had a better camera, I'd feel more comfortable zooming out. You know what I mean? It'd be okay to zoom out a little bit, but otherwise I just feel like on a shittier camera, which, gosh, one of those things you don't realize, until you get further into things. But yes, someday there will be a better camera, and I won't have to worry about that. Most of the time I use the opportunity to, like, I'll go grab Breck, and I'll be like, hey man, you need to, use the bathroom. Can I get you any snacks? Which, fucking dude. So, like I've talked about in the past, right? Like I've talked about how I thought I was doing the right thing. Like I thought that was good. You know what I mean? So, and it may be normal, and I may be wrong, but applesauce, it's got like a shitload of sugar in it. Is this real? Is that just the normal amount of sugar that's like in apples? Because, like, I'm just trying to, like, this whole deal, right, where it's just like, I mean, I was going off the rails a couple weeks ago. I really was. I was way too much, handfuls of cereal. I was having fucking Brex candies, and this is the whole thought, like, I shouldn't even, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't even be buying it for him. It's like we all have those thoughts back when we were kids, like your parents took you to some fast food restaurant that you remember, or, they'd buy you candy or something like that. And it's just like, I don't want to rob that from him. You know what I mean? Our family's just not known to have the most amazing metabolisms, unfortunately. So it's like, nobody wants to hear about my fucking family's medical history, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the idea is just like, I feel like I can't keep giving him like so much sugar all the fucking time. You know what I mean? So like even I was trying to get like more granular about like what I was feeding him, and right. And I'm thinking like, well, applesauce, it's made out of apples. You would think that'd be, but I guess the idea is just cut up an apple. And I guess it's just me being a lazy bitch. I guess just, if you're not going to pick out the apples yourself, literally just buy a fucking bag of apples and cut them up and have them eat them. But, like I thought it was like not doing the worst thing in the world, having like applesauce, but I think it's got a shitload of sugar in it. And when it's like, that's crazy. I didn't know that. It's like everything has sugar in it. You know what I mean? I almost forgot like why I stopped eating peanut butter. I stopped eating peanut butter for the longest time. And then here recently I looked at the back of it again, because I was like, God damn, I've been eating a lot of peanut butter. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm not trying to put it on anything. Like I'm not putting it on. There was probably times that I did, but I've not put it on bread most of the time. And it's got so much goddamn fucking sugar in it. Like, it's unreal. What in the hell? It's just like, my point in saying that is even something that could be considered healthy, and I'm not saying, you know, something stupid like trail mix where you're lying to yourself and tricking to yourself. Like, I know that you're supposed to buy those terrible peanut butters that you can literally barely spread, and you have to fucking stir up, and it's like all juicy and shit, and like that's the better peanut butter. But it's just like everything has goddamn sugar in it. It's unreal. It's unreal how much sugar's in everything. But it's just like, I mean, you realize like how bad that is for everything. The amount of joint pain, nobody cares about your medical history. But dude, the amount of joint pain while I'm fucking around and eating like handfuls of cereal and eating sandwiches and shit like that, eating stuff with bread. It wasn't like full sandwiches. I was making these like makeshift pizza things, which I probably talked about, but like I would take like one slice of like sourdough bread and I put like spaghetti sauce on it, and then like, you know, put cheese and pepperonis on it, and then put it in the toaster oven. It was like, you know, probably not something I knew it was bad. I knew I shouldn't have been eating it. And why am I talking about that? I remember why I'm talking about that. Oh yeah, I was like, I wasn't necessarily eating sandwiches, but I was eating sandwich bread. But the amount of joint pain, it's insane. My fucking, in episode 3, I had talked about how I started eating, and it doesn't matter. Every episode should stand by itself. It doesn't matter. You may never have tuned in, and you're probably never going to tune in again. But I was talking about how I just started walking around my house in slides because it's kind of nice. And you know what another thing is? Fucking having a kid, there's Legos everywhere. The one of the really nice things when I started taking them off is like I realized like, oh wow, that's also protecting my foot from fucking Legos, dude. Which is crazy to say, but they are so goddamn sharp and they hurt. And I always tell them to pick them up. Of course I tell them to pick them up. I mean, absolutely. It's like, but you know how that goes. It almost seems like, I swear to God, anything I tell him to do, especially if I let him know that it was not something I was happy about. Oh man, it's all good. I think that's just how it goes. But that's being a parent, right? But yeah, too much sugar and goddamn everything. Trying to keep that out of my son's diet. I mean, I could barely keep it out of my own diet, for goodness sake. I've been trying to. I did hear though, I guess it is okay, because remember, I think, again, everything should stand by itself. I was talking about maybe having a cheat day at one time, like how maybe I should have a cheat day. And Jesus Christ, nobody, this is why I just want to keep talking about myself. I guess I'm obsessed with myself. I guess I love me. The cool fucking thing that I thought of was that stop and smell the roses thing. They just smell so good. I really can't believe how good flowers smell. I don't think they always smell that good. I do, when I worked in the hotels for the longest time, when I was a general manager, I would buy flowers for the hotel lobby because I thought it looked good. I bought like so much stuff from Pier 1 Imports for like this hotel lobby that was like, they added this stupid ass fucking nasty plastic table, like one of those foldy ones that we used to bring camping when I was a kid. And I was like, if we're going to have this camping fucking table in our lobby, then I'm gonna make it look nice, because that's crazy. And what's funny, they had this like water cooler that like was literally growing mold on it. Like they would leave it, nobody would touch it for fucking days. So disgusting. It would literally have mold on it, and I was like, no, we gotta. So we'd buy like nice stuff. I tried to buy like Pier 1 stuff. Why in the hell am I talking about that? Trying to class up some of those shitty hotels that I worked at. No, dude, there are some hotel companies in the area that I live in that are building new hotels, and I gotta say, if you're ever shopping for hotels, look for the one of the things that I noticed as a tip from somebody that like worked amongst many different brands and amongst many different hotel management companies, is that the ones that have money will invest in things that are obvious, but like you have to look. Like, say, one thing I noticed is TVs. So like if you're looking in, say, your hotels, and you're trying to, and they're like, God, why is this so cheap, man? It looks like a beautiful hotel. Well, one, they're probably using stock photos, but if you look at the information for the televisions, if it says something like 27 inch or 42 inch or whatever it is, if they're not like really nice TVs, and I know that sounds stupid, but they probably aren't spending a lot of money on their rooms. They're probably not taking a lot of care of their hotels. And then just the reason I say that is, even if they have 40 fucking rooms, even if it's a tiny hotel, which very few hotels these days are that small, even if it's got 40 rooms and they bought 40 fucking TVs, that shows that they're investing in their properties, because that costs a lot of money. My point in saying that is not knowing about other hotels that I've traveled at, just paying attention to what kind of televisions they had in the rooms, and like differentiating, even like saying like, hey, this Hilton property versus this Hilton property, this one has a 27-inch flat screen, this one has like a 56-inch fucking HD screen. It's like the one that had the 56-inch was the highest class. Like, we made the right choice. And it's just point. I don't know. That's my tip. I don't know where that came from or why I felt like sharing that. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm kind of excited that I felt like I could share that because I had like some inside knowledge. But then I got nervous, obviously, as I started shifting around there. Maybe I felt like I needed to sit up. I don't know what it is. I want to get a new mic stand someday. Dude, that's the thing. Yeah. You guys don't want to hear about it, but yeah, one day new camera, one day new mic stand. We'll see how it goes. Oh, did you see what the fucking YouTube did with the like button? You're on YouTube, so maybe if you don't hit it enough, I hit it all the goddamn time, but like rather than doing the white flash, right, like it used to fill with white, you know what I mean, like white paint, you would touch it and it would fill with white. Well, now it does like a multicolored phase change when you touch it. Have you seen it? Have you tried it? You should try it. If you haven't done it, try it. Go give it a shot right out down there. Go give it a go. No, you don't have to, but if you want to while you're down there, you could subscribe as well. It's in the bottom right hand corner. No, you don't have to, but the like button thing I thought was pretty cool. The first time I did it and it all like blew up. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where like you realize they're giving you like a slot machine type deal. Well, they're giving you some sort of mental response, I think, that you almost don't even realize. What is it? It's like how slot machines get your head to focus more. I should blow right into the mic. That's what people want to hear. If you got your fucking cranked up, dude, and it gets, sometimes I have shit going on. I think I can't hear anything. So I just yeah, always have it cranked up as high as it goes, basically. But I didn't mean to blow into the mic, so I do apologize. Sorry about that. But you should really give it a try, if not on this video, on another one. You can like this video if you want. I realize I think I'm kind of a like whore. I like everybody's shit. I think it's the way to go. Also, then I found out that like on Instagram, you're better off to comment, they said, right? Like it helps, you know, more often. So I try to comment. Even if I can't think of anything smart to say, I'll throw out some emojis. Better than accident emojis. Man, that happens so much more often than it should. The amount of accident emojis I do, I have to be so careful about that. I don't know what it is. I talked about fat finger issues in the past, but God, I can't learn my lesson, can I? I just said I was sorry I did it, and I did it again. I know, I'm sorry. What a piece of shit. Dude, do you guys ever go to Firehouse Subs? I don't know if it's just the one in my area. It seems like, and I know I was talking about not trying to eat breads and stuff. Honestly, I was actually there on like a DoorDash deal. I was doing like a side hustle type thing, and I was picking up a Firehouse Sub for somebody, and when you walk in, they fucking shout at you. Is this just my town? Is it just in my town? If so, you should let me know in the comments or send us an email. But I believe, and by us, I mean fucking me, dude. I say us, and I don't know why. I think it's because I hear other people say that, but I mean fucking me, bro. Send me an email. Send me an email on the email for our podcast. Comment down below and I'll respond, dude. Me. I don't know. I say we or us. I think I'm so used to like talking for Breck, right? I'm so used to like speaking for my son. I like, you know, do the, or you know, you have a mouse in your pocket thing. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, anybody knows what I'm talking about. There was like a time, right? I mean, like you say like we or us or, you know, and people are like, you have a mouse in your pocket? But so gay, so dumb. Ooh, I'm sorry, you're not supposed to say that, huh? If you are one of those people that doesn't like bad sounds, this is not your episode. This is not the one for you, because it has been nothing but bad sounds. I'm cranking this water bottle back and forth, fucking leaning on this 1880s table here. But dude, Firehouse Subs, right? When I walk in, they shout at you, which I was not ready for. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood. I definitely wasn't in the right mood. I'm bad about that, honestly. I think I shouldn't like tell my secrets, but I think I can't help but want to talk about myself. I always want to talk about myself. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I can't stop. Yeah, so I won't. I'll try not to. Don't remember what the fuck I was talking about now. Dude, so I walk into Firehouse Subs though, right? And they shout at you. Is this just my town? Is this just here? Just here? They're like, welcome to Fire. I mean, I don't even want to do it because it's so goddamn loud. But they're like, welcome to Firehouse Subs. They do not do it that nicely. They don't do it that well. It does not sound like they're on NBC. They scream at you when you walk in the door. And so like as I was leaving, because again, I probably was like, you know, in more of an like cynical, maybe being a little irritated, maybe like not responding to everybody as well as I should all the time type of mood. And they shouted at me, and I was just thinking like, this is a room full of people. There's tables and tables of folks eating fucking. I can't help but think about how bad bread is for you. And I know, I'm sorry, I know everybody doesn't want to hear that. Dude, I deliver this shit. It's amazing. The amount of bread and frozen shit that I have delivered is unreal. I can't believe it. I can't believe what people are eating. I didn't understand. I don't realize it. I'm so in my own world. And I talk about it on here. I talk about how when I want pizza. I talk about when I want a handful of cereal. I talk about when I'm shoving my face full of trail mix. I talk about all the times I try to eat refined sugars or do eat refined sugars, or try to eat refined carbohydrates or do eat refined carbohydrates. And it's a constant struggle in my life. And again, I wake up and I literally, I was talking earlier and I never even finished what the fuck I was talking about. I started wearing those flip-flops. They're fucking slides, and I'll never get that right. I always have to say it second. I started wearing slides around my house, and they started hurting my fucking, on my right plantar fascia shits, dude, on my right foot. So it's like weird because you don't walk right in them. You're not walking in a slide the same way that you would a normal barefoot, or you would walk even in a tennis shoe. You're walking really weird. So my plantar fascia on my right foot, that whatever the fuck it is, I know that's what it is, started hurting. And so it's like, so I was like, I can't fucking wear them anymore. Oh yeah, because then I started saying about Legos and shit. I was going to lose my mind. But these guys are yelling at me, right? And so like, as I'm leaving, I was like, have a good day. And I don't know why I don't want to yell into this mic. I don't want to yell it. Probably because it's in my goddamn ear too. So I know if I fucking yell into this mic, it's going to be in my head, and that sounds crazy. Why would I want to scream into my own head? So I don't want to, but they looked at me weird. I shouted in the direction of the same man that shouted at me when I walked in. And again, I saw them do it to other people as I was there waiting for the food. So this just must be something they do at this location. They just say, welcome to Firehouse Subs. Again, not that nice. And they scream. So I screamed, have a good day, as I was leaving. And he looked at me strangely. But if what I did is weird, if what I did is fucking strange, if me shouting at you as I use the door to leave is strange, then you shouting at me as I use the door to enter is just as fucking strange. And I don't, why is that why is that your standard operating procedure? Like, oh, that's where I got lost. I got lost because I was thinking the people are already in there eating fucking bread. You know what I mean? Which I get it. It's amazing. It's so good. Dude, I even didn't you know how shitty the food is at Perkins, right? So it's terrible. So like, you don't go to places like that. Like, yeah, you've been there. You had a point in your life when you went to like a Perkins and you sat down and you had food and you were like, oh yeah, but you don't eat at places like this. But dude, I have stood at some of those bakery glass cases lately, and even that, oh my God, those like eclairs and shit look so fucking good. I'll lose it, dude. Those look so goddamn good. I'd break anything but I don't. I never do. But I mean, that's the thing. Pastries are my deal, dude. Get me pastries and fucking pizza, man. And I will probably anything. Ice cream. Fuck, dude. I'm a mess. Get out of here. But I think it's weird. I think it's weird to fucking shout at people. Maybe everybody that goes there, it's just part of the culture. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just be, you know what I mean? Fucking screaming at everybody that walks in the restaurant. But doesn't it seem weird if the whole restaurant is full of people and families and folks eating their fucking food? Isn't it weird? Isn't it? I think it's weird. I think it's weird to scream across the restaurant, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Yeah, I think the move is because like, yeah, the move is make the intro video after. So I would then like have to watch this, remember everything that I said, talked about, then do an intro video about what I talked about. Which is not the most to ask. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It seems kind of silly, but it is what it is. Yeah, people just sound so up their own ass when they say to do meditation. But I gotta say, I think it makes a difference. My son hates it. He won't do it. He never wants to do it. He hates it. He thinks it's just boring because he doesn't listen. He doesn't do what the fuck they tell him to do. It's all good. I just wish he would. I've been making him do yoga. I've made him do yoga for like 4 or 5 weeks now. He fucking hates it. It's all good. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a goddamn deal. It's like it's like 45 or 55 fucking minutes, like the actual time that you're actually moving. I don't know. I think he's making a big deal about it. They have this thing called like 5210 plus, so he was doing it for 5210 plus. I can't help but want to talk about myself. I always talk about myself. There's a lot of shit going on. I get it. There's a million things going on in the world. Oh yeah, like I was saying, fucking yeah. So Russia just did that like anniversary celebration today. It's pretty crazy. I mean, basically everybody's indicating and trying to say that like we're in World War III. We're not yet. We'll know if we are. At this point, I think we're fairly lucky. That again is like where I think that stop and smell the roses thing is so fucking just interesting, because like we are so goddamn lucky to not be one, them, but two in the same position, or three just like, I mean, one of the things that's going on too is like what the China being asked to be assist Russia in what they're doing. And so it's just like, then we're telling them, well, if you do this, and we just sound like we sound like a parent making empty threats to their child that's not going to fucking do shit. They have a brat kid that's running around acting like a fucking idiot, and they're just making empty threats. Like, I don't know. I even had to write some of them down because they're so fucking stupid. But they're like, there will absolutely be consequences. That's what they said to China. That's what they said to China. There will absolutely be. Dude, I've said that to Breck. Breck's not behaving the way I want him to, and I'd be like, there will absolutely be consequences. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such an empty threat. Like, that's not. I was gonna say that's not business negotiation, but I guess it's not. It's business on their scale, right? It's business on the scale of the amount of shit they sent to fucking Ukraine. For God's sake, somebody paid for that. Somebody had to make that. I mean, right? So it's like, I don't know. It's just interesting because I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. So like, when I watch like Marvel and stuff like that, and like you realize like, oh, Tony Stark, the fucking weapons dealer, is a billionaire, and then it's like you realize like, Oh, no, 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 that's really how it is. I want to wipe my nose, which sucks, and it's because I don't actually know that. But my point in saying that is, in this situation where they're sending thousands of anti-airs, thousands of whatever the fuck they sent to Ukraine, and even they were trying to send something else too, like fighter jets, right? Somebody bought those. Somebody made those. Somebody bought all those parts. Somebody paid for that shit. Somebody paid for that labor. That doesn't change. And now they're going to have to make it again. So, like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, my point in saying this is I felt like maybe it was wrong to say like this business negotiation, but it's a fucking business. There's a lot of business going on. And like, I don't know if it was recently or if it was, yeah, it's been recently. People have said like, that's all that Russia does. This is all that they have. They do that in oil. And then when we stop fucking taking that from them. But I don't know. It just sure as shit seems like we sound like a fucking parent making empty promises to their kids. That wasn't the only one I wrote down. They were like, I encourage any country to think about the role they want to play in history as we all look back. I think that was like, I don't know. I was going to say like Jen Psaki or something like that, but I don't know who the fuck that was. But my point in saying that is, isn't that like what you tell your kid? Like think, you know what I mean? Think about the consequences, basically. I don't know. Even to Russia, they were like, would pay a severe price if they chose to use a chemical or biological attack, chemical or biological weapons, but pay a severe price. You know what I mean? Like, again, just seems like an empty threat you tell your child when they're acting out like, you're going to pay a severe price. I'm going to take, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to put something on the table to compare because it's not appropriate. But yeah, I think that's all I had. I understand, and they have initiated some far-reaching and some of the sanctions that have been instituted have affected everybody immediately, or at least we think that's what it is. It might be more just like Bill Burr had mentioned, and I heard it on Breaking Points, but the oil companies just want to make the money back that they lost in 2020 at the beginning of COVID. And that's pretty, again, it's business. It's all business. You can't put that past them. Why not? Why wouldn't they? They made lots and lots of money for a long time. Everybody fucking hates them, and now everybody needs them. You know what I mean? And I guess I was wrong. I had said, I thought, because I remember hearing we had so much natural gas that we couldn't even keep it all. Like we had so much natural gas in I accidentally had something on my phone, that thing that pulls up all the fucking, there's like a ruler and a highlighter and shit. I didn't even mean to pull it up. I didn't even know you could do that. That's tight. I did it on accident. There's a ruler, there's a black pen, there's an eraser, there's a blue pen. You guys know you could do this? I didn't know you could do this. Some of the things I do on accident on my phone, or they just happen automatically. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. It's America making empty threats. I'd rather make empty threats. I don't have any actual expectation that something's going to happen, but that's the same thing I said last time, and that's the same thing I think about everybody else. Because again, I shouldn't say nobody, the roads are just as aggressive. People are just as crazy in the stores. Nobody's acting like these are their last days. Nobody's acting like anybody's going to push a button and everything's going to change for the rest of our lives. Not the people I'm running into. I don't know. Again, I've seen lots of donations, lots of charity, lots of sanctions, lots of these things. But if people really thought that any minute we were all going to be invaded, or most people say that's not going to happen. So like at least the nuclear thing. wouldn't you be treating people a little nicer? Wouldn't everybody be, you know what I mean? Would we really see the, and that's just a simple thing, but everybody fucking drives. Lots of people drive. Not everybody drives. Lots of people drive. So my point in saying that is just like, wouldn't there be less road rage and stuff like that? I'm not trying to be dumb, but sure seems like if you knew this was your last day on earth, you wouldn't be fucking driving like a jackass, cutting people off or slamming on your brakes in front of people. I don't see that. I haven't seen that ramp down in any way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But and I hope nothing happens. Oh shit! That thing I brought up, now I can't get rid of it. Fuck off. Oh, it's just literally that third thing on the bottom. If you have an iPhone, it looks like it's just that third thing. I'm not going to click it again. But, yeah. What about all this Kim and Kanye stuff? You guys seen this? Everybody's seen it. Of course you've seen it. Of course you've seen it. Everybody's seen it. You know what the thing is, man? It's at this point, I almost thought it was echoing. At this point, aren't we the fucking idiots? I mean, honestly, aren't we the ones at this point that? Because it sure seems like everybody feels like they can, like, say, judge Kanye, right? Because they can say, well, he's mentally unstable. He's in whatever you're feeling about Kanye is. It seems like everybody feels like they're superior to that in some way, right? Or in the same way, either women idolize or think they're superior, or men think they're superior to Kim, right? And whatever your opinion of Pete Davidson is, he can certainly keep attention and rile up drama. But at this point, I mean, hasn't it been fucking years, literally years, that they have been doing this to us? Like, at this point, aren't they allowing us to think that they're idiots when really we're the fucking idiots, and they're making billions of dollars on keeping our attention and staying in the limelight even when they could easily fall out of relevance? I'll be right back. I'm back. Are we all just so used to the fact? Are we all just so used to the fact that they are constantly in the limelight, that they constantly have our attention, that we don't even realize the possible veil that they're literally pulling over our eyes? Or they have been the whole time? Like, I say that because, again, I think it provides everybody some ability to think, well, at least I'm not that. At least I'm not doing that. But I mean, I agree that if Kanye is literally just this mentally unstable and insane, naturally, he needs some help. But it's so goddamn consistent for so long, and it's benefited him and his wife and their family and their careers for fucking years, for like at least 5 years that I can think about. That's what I'm saying. Like, are we just so used to having these conversations? Because I can think about these exact same conversations. I was even saying how I've turned on like a podcast from like 5 years ago. Dude, they're talking about this exact same shit in those podcasts that long ago. The exact same shit. How Kim and Kanye are fucking in the news because he's acting crazy. Like, I don't know, man. Just sure seems like he's just really good at keeping our attention, and now they just have like a new puppet in the act. They just, I'm not saying Pete Davidson is a puppet, but I couldn't even get that out. I personally, of course, would probably love to have the career and attention and life that he has. So I'm not trying to talk shit in that way, but I'm just saying maybe all of them are a little bit more aware in advance of how these things are going to be interpreted by the public and how that may possibly affect the attention that they're going to get in the near future. That's all I'm saying. That's a fair thing to say. I think that's a fair thing to say. And if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Feel free to leave a comment. Send me an email. Hit the thumbs down button. You know what? I never thumbs down shit. I never hit thumbs down on stuff, so I don't know what happens. But you should hit the thumbs down if you're pissed off about that, and then tell me what happens. Then you could tell me what happens on it. Because again, I'm genuinely and sincerely enthused about what I see with the like button when it does the multicolored phase change on YouTube. I think that's cool. So tell me what happens when you hit the down button. You know what I mean? Maybe it does like a fucking fire phase change. Maybe it does like red fire and it's like, you know, gets black as you phase change it. I don't know what happens. I can't think of a time that I've done it, and I don't want to rub my nose, so I must be telling the truth. That's what's up. Dude, you know what's crazy about people? I feel like there's way too many people that are claiming to be OCD that are not OCD. I think that the amount of people that say that they're OCD are in fact people that are actually pigs that want you to think that about them. And it's such an easy way to paint a fucking picture of the way they care for things without actually having to do it. And I think that people are fucking liars, man. Because the amount of people that I see say that they're OCD about things, I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, I get like people say some things like, again, my fucking ceiling, my goddamn ceiling. Yep, that's the thing for me. So like as an example, sometimes family members of mine or people that I know have came into my house or life and said that my ceiling has too much dust on it. So as an example, I consider myself OCD and I miss some shit on my ceiling sometimes. But in the same way, I feel like anybody else that's ever told me that, all of their shit is nasty. Like everything that they have is gross. And I just think people are overusing that term a little bit because like, I get excited about fucking microfiber towels. You know what I mean? Like the way a microfiber towel rubs across a surface makes me feel good inside. That's some OCD shit. Like I think that's... Dude, my friends, when I was younger, I would make them wash their hands before they touched my fucking controllers to my video game systems. I bought my own controller that I didn't let anybody else touch. And just I touched because I didn't want to touch anything that anybody else had touched. Like, that's OCD, if you ask me. I think so. This is my point in saying this. Like, too many people say that, and then you see them like with fucking hair all over them or something, and you're like, if you were OCD, you'd buy a lint roller. You'd have a fucking lint roller and not have hair all over your body. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think. I don't know. But maybe that's their ceiling. Maybe that's their, maybe fucking their hair and dog hair and fucking whoever else's hair that is. Maybe that's their ceiling. Maybe that's the shit that they, dude. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. I have those things. I've had forever. I think I still have them. I think I still have them because I never use them, obviously. But you know those fucking Swiffer things? They go on like the long. They go on like the long yellow pole. I think I have like 3 of those yellow poles and like a bunch of those Swiffer things. I just don't use them. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the trick, right? Otherwise, I just get a rag and I just walk, dude. I just fucking, you know what I mean? Walk along and just rub along. But then all that shit falls on you. You gotta remember to do it first. For sure. But yeah, man, the move for me is fucking. I've said it before, but when I get everything clean, the sigh of relief that I have. Oh my God! Speaking for God's sakes, oh, I shouldn't tell you. It's disgusting. Something's wrong, dude. I shit 4 times today. 4 times. That's so many. That's too many. Why? Why would that happen? I don't understand it, but I don't like it. I couldn't believe it. I shouldn't talk about it. It's weird to talk about. That is crazy to talk about, but it happened. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why? That's amazing. And you know, something that I could relate back to the OCD thing, but like, I have to take a full shower every time that I shit. I shouldn't say have to, but yeah, I do. Every time I have to take a full shower. I can't do anything else. It's just not good for me. I don't feel good. I don't feel right. I don't feel clean. I have to be. So like if you can just imagine, that's why it's so late. That's literally the truth is. Remember how earlier I said we're late today? Dude, that's why. My schedule was fucked today. It was destroyed. How do you do that? How do you add 4 showers, dude? Kill me. That's OCD though. That's real OCD, I think. I don't know. I do know. That's OCD. That's where like I just have to feel a certain way, like a certain cleanliness. Even when I try to not do things right, the fucking mental I'm talking about myself again. Dude, I'm terrible. I guess that's why the podcast is named after me, because I'm supposed to be doing whatever the fuck I want, but I don't know, man. I fall into talking about myself so quickly, so easily. Just saying, because, you know, like, there is so much going on. There is so much going on in the world. What was it, like a fucking Kevin Durant was talking. You know what? I was going to say, what the way I was actually going to word it was that he was talking shit, but for God's sakes, didn't somebody have to fucking say it? Didn't somebody have to say how that doesn't make any goddamn sense? How we're just making stuff up. Now, it doesn't, there's no real, what are we doing? It doesn't make any sense. Like we're literally fucking, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Like basically the idea was like he can be in the arena, but he can't play. Like I think he can even sent like fucking right by the court, but can't play. Like what the fuck are we talking about? And I think like they lifted the mandates and restrictions so like people don't have to show vaccination passports, and I could be wrong about that, but I don't think people have to show vaccination passports in New York anymore. So the audience is going to not be checked, and he's going to be basically in the audience, but he can't play. Like what the fuck are we talking about? Like, I mean, can we just not? You know what I mean? I think I saw that like China was having another breakout or something like that, but like, and I think even Fauci said like he wanted to reinstitute mandates and stuff like that. Dude, I mean, when I do the DoorDash thing, we still have to wear masks. No, we haven't stopped wearing masks. People think it's weird. People talk shit about it. But, like, I have this weird thing where I can say, like, I feel unsafe. I feel uncomfortable because somebody's not wearing theirs. So, like, I can say that. So I'm like, I'm sure they have the fucking option to say that about me. Which is, you know, just that whole thing where everybody's being rated. You know, it's like so real. Like, you know, like when you're taking Uber, you're getting rated. You know, when you do your side hustle, they're rating you, you're rating them. It's fucking nuts. You know, you get rated on your dating apps. You get rated fucking everywhere, man. It's just crazy how real. So, what was that, like something people talked about years ago too? Like fucking, what was it, like Black Mirror episode or something like that? I don't know. I don't know. Man, when my son sleeps with me, dude, I don't think I'm getting good sleep. I don't think, see, I am fucking terrible. I just want to talk about me all the time. What is that? Why is that? Do you guys do that? Nobody's doing it. No, you're with it. You're with it. You're here. Yeah, can't help but want to talk about myself all the goddamn time. What is that? Why is that? Like, it's because you're a fucking egomaniac, guy. No, I was just thinking about how basically he has a nice bed. I bought him a nice bed. It would seem like last year, but I think it was 2 years ago now. And he doesn't ever sleep in it. He hates sleeping in it. He's scared of the dark, but that's normal. It's fucking so normal. It's so goddamn normal. I was scared forever. I literally thought I could see, look at me. I can't help but talk about myself. I thought I could literally see like fucking ape-like figures in the dark when I was younger, dude. I swore to God I could see I hated the dark. I always liked if I tried to go to bed when my mom was still watching TV outside of my room, or at least the TV was still on, so there was some sort of light shining into my room. I fucking hated the dark. But then you realize, like, that's because we got eaten. You know what I mean? Like, our ancestors got fucking killed in the dark, you know? Like, we just have that in us. It's like that same reason when you get all stupid and territorial. It's not the same reason, but it's your instincts acting in a way that they aren't necessarily needed all the time in the same way that they were in the past. But they're still there. They're still very present. But god damn it, I don't think I sleep well. I think it literally just like I don't think I get the same amount of rest at all. I don't even think it's comparable. Yeah. And then sometimes yeah, I shouldn't, but I sure do. Sometimes I get like up early and then I just sleep on the floor. And then, like, you know, he wakes up. Basically, I could have, you know what I mean? I could have just stayed in bed. There was no reason to get up early. Because then I just go back to bed on the fucking floor because I'm so exhausted. It's all good. It's normally on like a Saturday or something like that. But I could certainly be more productive. But god damn it, I can't help but talk about myself. Dude, you know what's with this? I don't even think that necessarily we have to talk. Like, if there's any doubt in your mind, if there's any even question whatsoever that when things are being said, I am certain you don't even have to be talking for your phone to give you ads. Because, like, here's two examples. One, I bet you my fucking memory will not get me through both of these examples without forgetting what the fuck I'm going to talk about. Oh, shit, that sucks. Oh, that's funny. I should have just went for it. But then I see myself announcing in advance that I have to say two things, and I'm like, dude, there's no way you're going to remember both fucking things, you idiot. Got all nervous because there's two things that I have to announce, and I fucking said it in advance. Almost blew into the mic. See me learning? Oh, shit. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. I don't even think necessarily you have to fucking talk to get your phone to make you advertisements according to what's going on in your life. and it would seem like, well, how the fuck else does it get the information? But like, okay, so recently I Xfinity charges way too goddamn much, and they don't allow me in my area at my time, at the times I've checked, to not get their TV package and without their internet package. So point being, I would really prefer just to have their internet and then get streaming services and all that kind of stuff. But they're smart, and they say you have to fucking bundle if you want the good internet, and you have to have TV. And so I have their TV, and god damn it, why am I talking about it? Ooh, the service was out for a period of time, so I was gonna send them an email because I was fucking sincerely pissed off about it, and I shouldn't have been. But my point in saying that is, I just wrote a fucking email, and it was like I wrote it down because at 4:30 I wrote the email. At 4:56 I was getting fucking ads. So my point in saying that is like, I'm not even actually fucking saying this shit. And just the mere fact of me writing this email and typing, I guess it's the fact that I typed that so many fucking times into my phone, and then 26 fucking minutes later, I'm getting ads for something that I wrote. And I just think there's some people that are still in fucking question. But if there's any question, it's so obvious. Like, one, the mic, for sure, the mic has to be open all the goddamn time. But two, I think they're getting things from what we type. Oh, and what was the other one I was trying to say? I told you it was bad for me to say in advance that I was going to try to say something. Fuck. So the typing the email. Oh, and then I'm getting all these ads. So like, I listened to this podcast where they were talking about running a lot, and they said the word running a fuckload, and they were talking about running shoes a lot. And then like the last 2 days, my ads have been fucking crazy about running shoes and running. And it's just like, again, so it doesn't even have to be me talking. It can even be a show that's what my point is saying is like, clearly the mic's open, but it doesn't even have to be fucking you talking about it. They'll just take whoever. So I guess it's not necessarily, I mean, it's clearly, I guess it's intuitive, but it's not like the highest level. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy for me to split hairs on technology that amazing that it's not only listening to everything I'm saying, but it's listening to the shit that I'm watching, what they're saying. You know what I mean? On a different device. Pretty cool. Pretty crazy. Good for them. If you didn't think that, I think anytime you say that around somebody that's like fucking baby boomer or whatever, they just go, big brother. Big brother. I don't know. That's what my mom always says. That's what her brother always said. I don't know. Maybe that's just my family. I shouldn't assume that's everybody's family. But I've heard older folks, such as my mom and my uncles, say that type of shit. But yeah, if there's any question, it's so clear that not only are they listening, reading, but also listening to the other folks, the things that you're listening to, which is crazy. But I guess not. I guess if you want to sell shit to us, and keep an eye on people, that's what you got to do, right? But it's weird. I didn't talk about. I don't know shit about it anyway. But yep. Hopefully, if people start to live like the war is actually some sort of severe threat to their life, it would be a positive benefit on all of us. But my guess is most people will continue to be selfish, and I'm guilty of that constantly. It's so hard to remind myself just to be present and compassionate and empathetic and I was going to say careful, but it's not the right word. But just care about everybody in the right way. And you know what's one thing, and it probably doesn't matter, and I don't even remember what goddamn week it was like 13 or 14, but I was doing some editing, watching back on one of my videos, and I watched the way I said something, and it probably doesn't matter, but I watched as the way I heard myself say it. It sounded weird to me. And what it was is like, one week I was talking about my son, and I said, I love you so much. And then I said, I love him so much. And then I was talking about one of my best friends that died when I was growing up, and I said, I love him so much. And I said that the same way for both people. And then I tried to start talking about it, and I fucking was going to start crying. So I couldn't talk about it. Which I'm sorry. It's terrible. I fucking cry all the time. I don't know what it is. Especially out here. I can't believe it. But it is what it is. But what I was trying to say is, for lack of more terminology, I used the same phrase in two instances, which clearly the expression is not the exact same. And so it was more a saying of, I'm acknowledging that I literally said the exact same phrase for two situations where clearly it couldn't be the exact same, but I couldn't even explain myself on that issue or explain myself on that episode, because again, I was just about to start crying, so I couldn't fucking even think about it, which is such a bitch thing to do, but it is what it is. I was just sad about thinking about my friend, and I don't know. I guess in some ways you're talking about death when you're talking about the idea of possible nuclear fallout, whatever ends up happening. But again, I don't think anybody takes that as seriously as it really fucking is, at all. But anyway. Oh yeah, so my point in saying that is, I wasn't trying to say that I was saying that the same way and indicating or implying that it meant the same way about both things, though that's the way, as when I viewed it, that it sounded. And so I just thought that was worth clarifying. That's the only other thing I can think of. I was going to really just say I'm getting ready to go. But anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you checked out that like button thing. If you don't, maybe there'll be another video you can hit the like button on. If not, you can like this video before you check out of here. Otherwise, I hope you check in with us again next week. And I don't know why I'm saying check in, check out. Maybe just thinking about the hotel tip that I gave. Hopefully that's a good one for you. If you haven't heard it before, maybe I'll come up with some other good ones. And that's it, I think, man. So I hope you guys have a great week. Try to get some of these episodes. Occasionally they come out a little quicker than that, but otherwise, chat with you guys again here in the next few days, and hope you take care of yourself and your family and your life, and can't wait to talk to you and see your comments and chat with you again soon. So love you. Talk to you then. Bye bye.